Cool. Hey, good morning, folks. Today is 17th November 2023, and then we are in first API provider for IBM Cloud meeting. Yeah, today we have a bunch of items to discuss as usual. Plus, we also want to discuss about the proposal what Karthik submitted recently for adding a cluster infra creation for Power VS. So that we will discuss in detail. I think I already see some good discussions as well here. But let's get started, right? So first we'll talk about what all we delivered in last couple of weeks. So November 3rd is when the last meeting happened. Since then, not a lot of issues. APIs went in. There are a few years went in, so we'll discuss about those. First one is like we updated to beta 1. 1.6. But any latest after that, like any more builds happened with Cappy, Prajot, or
Yes,
yeah,
Manju. So this week there was supposed to be a release, but due to flakiness in the A2E test on the CAPI end, right? So it got pushed to next week, I think. So they hold off, they canceled the release on the very
last minute.
yeah, last minute, yeah. So none of the versions were released this week, which was planned. So most probably it will be next week, yeah. But there are some issues with the release 1.4 of Capi that they are trying to fix. So once that is fixed, then probably they will go ahead with the release next week, yeah. So there were plans to release beta. So actually the plan was to have a release candidate, but then they decided that they can't do that, so they were thinking about having a beta. But then there are not many changes that went into Capi as well, right? So which mean that even releasing a beta didn't mean much. So yeah, so basically
Okay.
release was pushed to further date. Yeah, I'll update on that once I have some news on that. Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll update the release milestone here as well accordingly for 0.7 in that case. Maybe I'll just push it for a week.
Yes, Manju.
So
Yes.
let's see if that makes sense. Or we can even push for if required. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Good. Thanks for that update. And post that there is this we removed like we migrated from some of the deprecated packages to some of the native packages for the errors. And what else we replaced? Mock as well. So do you want to talk about this, Kishan?
Yeah, Manju. Given that this mock package is in the Golang repository has been deprecated, and I think Uber is maintaining a forked version which is constantly being looked into and maintained. I think it was right for us to move into the maintained packages. So that was the idea of this PR. And I think with regards to the errors package also, I think we had to move away from it because it's not maintained anymore. So that was the whole idea, and I think I made the changes to migrate the same accordingly.
Yeah. Thank you. And this is part of like I was just going through all the modules and then looking at sort of possible modules we are using in the project, and then I was just looking at the current level and then the support statement, right? So that's when I realized that we just need to kind of replace these two packages what we pushed it part of this PR. I think going forward, eventually we just need to do that exercise like once in a release, or maybe like not really once in a release, maybe or at least like once in a quarter, sort of like thing. We just need to go through all these um, packages and then see whatever needs to be done, right? So that's important. So that I felt important. So that's fine. But yeah, more or less other packages I see in Go mod are like mostly like we see keep seeing the regular updates. Yeah, almost like every other package we just replaced or updated like in a month time frame. So except this one, so I'm not sure. This is I don't see any activities for almost 8 months. Yeah, I think this is not something. Yeah, I mean it's not in term they're not using a lot of modules anyways. That's fine. Yeah, they do, but we'll keep a tab. So I think we'll have to keep a tab again on this, and then there's a lot of debate happening for P flag and Cobra as well. I think yeah, Cobra finally got updated to the latest version, but P flag is something which is kind of not really updated for quite some time, right? So I think it's also there are discussions like who will maintain and all that. I don't know the stage of this project right now. I think it's pretty much used in a lot of places. But let's see where it goes. See, I already see some of this maintenance status and then whatnot. Let's see where it goes. So if we can get some latest updates, we'll see. All right. So this has been used in Kubernetes projects as well. So widely, I think we don't need to worry about. But other than that, I think I pretty much see everything getting updated very often. So I think we are safe, at least in terms of the support of the dependencies. Cool. Yeah, that's the history behind moving some of these packages to the other one, right? All right. This was like a minor change in Gabi update we missed. So I think that's been pushed by Amulya. The question is, how do we avoid going forward? Not sure.
I think, I mean, maybe like when there's an issue created for updating to next, we can have a checklist of what all things to update and then go by that as a start.
Yeah.
I can do that, like maybe have a template or a checklist of what are the necessary things and this can be avoided.
Okay.
Yeah.
Checklist for updating the CAPI API. Sorry, CAPI version. Maybe.
Yeah.
Just one help I need is like someone just needs to like once we kind of discuss these things, right? I think let's maybe Prajot can take care of creating these issues. I know, like we kind of almost lost, forgot to create these issues what we discussed last week. So I mean, finally we created yesterday, but I think we just need to maybe like create upfront or immediately after this meeting so that we don't forget them. Right? Let's do that. Okay. Yeah, let's do that for creating the process wise. And then this is for updating or removing the reference of the older way of using the format for the provider ID, right? So I think this is good, right? I think what else is left apart from this? Pretty much we updated.
Yes, Manju.
Okay. And after that, bunch of updates. Yeah, CVE stuff also we delivered. So this is part of the action thing, right, Prajot? So this is
Yes,
part of
Manju.
the action in running. Okay.
Yes, yeah. So the security scan captured that there was a vulnerability in one of the dependency packages using the older version. So we just bumped
Okay.
it to the latest one where it had the fixed, and yeah.
But one quick thing. So everyone can see these actions being run and the results.
Yes, Manju, I think so.
Okay, cool. But only one thing I'm missing is that the manual trigger of this, right? So let's say after fixing it, I just want to run once and then check, right? So that's missing here.
Okay. Yeah, I think for that I'll need to update the workflow to include that option. I'll do that.
Yeah. Manual trigger for the
Security scan workflow.
security scan workflow. So that will give us at least the confidence, right? Otherwise, we don't know like whether it is working or worked or not, right? So that's something
We'll
which
have to wait for a week to see.
yeah, exactly. So that's not really a good idea, is what I feel. Let's create issue for that and then fix it.
Okay.
And after that, I don't see any more. Like I said, there are some of these dependency updates. not a lot of thing. But part of this, like, tell me one thing, Prajot. So we just updated these indirect dependencies for this one.
Yes, Manju.
So do we know like from where we got these the dependent modules where the fix needs to be needs to be fixed or the way?
Yes, so in the security scan, right, it shows which version of that particular package, right, which is throwing that error, uh, where it
Yeah.
is fixed in. So it shows that version where it is fixed in of that package, and then basically you have to just go and try bumping that version in your Go mod package one thing at a time and see that. Then it will automatically update rest whatever error is required, right, to be in sync with rest of the. I think there is a better log which I could see. Not sure. I think here.
Yes, they're in main, but I don't know why it is not showing for 0.5.
Yeah, no, I think this was
Oh,
because
okay.
this was the target was not there last week. So
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
fixed now. Yeah.
Yes, yes. But no, my question was like, see, right now we fix the dependent, like indirect dependency. It's not like something coming part of the direct dependency, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
my
correct.
question is like,
How,
what is
how to-
that? What is that direct dependency which was like using the older version, right? So I think eventually even direct dependencies needs to be fixed as well. So I was just wondering.
Okay, okay, I got your point.
Yeah, so.
Mm.
Uh,
So I think
the-
I'll have to check on that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Go mod Y should give you that option like go mod Y minus M, and then this particular package will give you the hierarchy like
Where it is being where it is
yeah. I
stuck.
mean like hierarchy. It says like eventually like who is using and then internally who's calling and all that. That information will get it. But anyways, but yeah, thanks for the fix. Anyways, so I
Okay.
think this should be fine. Eventually it will get updated if something the direct dependency get
Yes.
with that fix or not. But yeah, this is interesting. 7.
Yeah. I'll try that at Monju, whatever the instruction writes, and I think probably I'll also document the instruction for the future,
Yes.
which is on how to go about fixing if and there is any vulnerabilities catch, what flow to follow. Yeah, I'll document those instruction as well.
Cool. Thank you. So that's about the fixes went in last couple of weeks. Next we will discuss release. I think we already discussed. I think nothing is going to be. Yeah. So we haven't released anything in past couple of weeks, and also, do you think we need to release 6.1 or something? I think we pushed a couple of patches there as well, right? And 0.5 as well, if possible. We will just cut the release.
Yeah, I think we can cut it now, or I think, anyways, if you are planning to do it once the Capi is going to release a new version, right? Minor version.
Yeah, that is for 0. Oh, you mean like the minor version for
Yeah.
the
So
older batches as well?
yeah, so it comes like all the releases happens together, right? So the new release plus the minor versions for the last two supported releases, right? So
Okay.
yeah.
But there are already good amount of 3. I think we did update this. But anyways, I think we can wait. But it's almost 2 weeks, right? I mean, maybe we can just cut a release and then maybe we can just do the another release later.
Yeah, that should also be fine. Yeah, no
It's
issue.
fine. Anyways, cut the release for really released versions. Okay, that's about that. Anyway, we discussed about the milestone for the next release, so that we're pushing for a week. Then backlog. I think backlog we have quite a few work items assigned. So maybe we can discuss issues without milestones. Add instructions to the docs up update release version in security. Okay. I think this is not really, we are not holding for the release. I think we can just make it next for now. It's fine. Add support release content for IBMCloud doc. So I think this is also a doc. Doc can be marked as next. Enhance linting to cover YAML files. Yeah, this is not something really very important than stopping the release. Can mark it next. So we'll just try to have sort of required issues only for this release, right? So then, like, considering the time we have, so let's not really take any more work for this current release. So that's why we are pushing to next. Okay, so does this required for 0.7, Rajat?
No, Manju, we can still go ahead with whatever images that we have, right? So I don't foresee any issues. But eventually we'll have to publish those, so I'll work on that. Yeah.
Okay, so I think maybe we can just take it immediately after the release. This release maybe in December time, so we can just target that. This needs to be done, right? This needs to be done. We need this for this release because the spec changes we have done, and then we want to make sure that we just deliver whatever whatever it has been decided. So update template reference with commands in the doc to point to correct templates.
So it's a minor doc issue, not release related.
But this will create. I think this needs to be fixed as soon as possible. Is what I feel. Let's maybe try fixing it in this release itself because I've seen that people are facing.
Yeah, the example of this must be the issue which Kishan raised right yesterday.
Exactly. That needs to be done. Otherwise, we'll face issues. Okay. And then we'll discuss anything else you guys want to discuss about, the work items. Otherwise, we can discuss about 0.7 release directly.
So the smoke test, which Mulya had created an issue for red swelling. So how?
That created.
Yeah. So like, how important is it to how soon that we need to fix that? Like how much attention?
Oh yeah. I think this is already tagged for 0.7. I think let's talk about those things. Yeah, we'll talk. Okay, so 0.7. I see 10 issues. Okay. Okay, so this is the one doesn't really have any owner. So who want to take it up? So Prajat, you want to fix this one, the quick template thing?
Yeah, sure, Manju. Yeah, I'll fix it today only. Yeah.
Okay. We'll talk from bottom. So bootstrap cluster with ignition. So where we stand?
Okay, Manju. So on this issue, I haven't got any time yet to start on that. So I think we'll probably have to move this to the next release.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay,
I don't think, I can explore, but I don't think we'll be able to deliver within this release at least.
Yeah, but the explosion, can we just contain the exploration part in this release, and the next we'll focus on implementing it?
Okay. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah.
Okay. And I don't see any update for this one. Not sure. We can just ask Kirtana. Okay. And I just see a fresh PR from Kishan for this issue. Oh, just half an hour back.
Yeah, Manju. Think it has some check failures that needs to be fixed, I think.
Yeah, I just made those changes, and I think this test should go through, and probably it should be merge worthy in some time after the test. So it was just these comment issues, right? Which I think I missed a period on at the end of the comment. So yeah, I think nothing else.
Okay, so just the template. It's a new spec templates or anything. I don't see any other updates. Sorry, any other changes as such, like control and all, not really needed, right? Or do we?
No, Manju, I think it's just the template, and I
Okay.
think there are no controllers in the picture.
Okay, cool. I think I see Karthik, he's already sort of commented. I'm just wondering if Karthik can review this PR.
Yeah, sure, Manju, I will take a look.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you. Okay. For this.
This can go in this release. I mean, I think it can go. I am yet to make the changes. I was working on the other issues, so I can it can get done in this release.
Okay. And this one, was speaking, I haven't spent any time on this. I'll explore and see. This is not something which is really kind of blocking or very important for the release. It's more of a refactoring and then cleanup. I'll just take a look at it. Okay. Documentation. So
This is in progress, Manja. I should be able to create it today. The PR.
okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, this is also in progress. I've been debugging the last issue and why the cleanup of the management cluster is failing. So this might take some time to debug on the exact issue because the issue is coming from cluster API test framework. So there I'm just checking what is the issue.
Okay. Okay. But anything like we are kind of depending, like, do you foresee like the issues with the CAPI itself or where
I
the
am
fix might?
I'm not sure yet. I mean, if the function is in CAPI, so probably there, or maybe in our environment we're missing some minor flag or something. So I need to check on that, Manju.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Smoke test doesn't work as expected. So do we know like
I updated the issue on what exactly was happening. So initially, at least the what we expect is that the current cluster, the management cluster should get created, and we are at least checking if the controllers are getting deployed successfully. But that's not happening. It's just building the controller image and exiting after that. So this is a spec. This is a picture from the old spec where it was supposed to work like this. So I
okay.
checked. Yeah. So I checked on why this is happening, and I am not sure what changed, but I think a fix would be to actually have some code within the some test cases to actually check if these controllers are up and running, like minor, like get this object and check. So that's what that direction is what I'm going at.
Okay.
So right now inside the test case, it's currently empty. There are no test cases. So if I add something, then it's running. So maybe in this
Okay.
before suit, something changed in Ginkgo that we want to run only if there's
Possible.
something. Yeah. So I'm just going in that direction, seeing if I can add some minor checks because right now we're just deploying and we don't know if they're up and running. So probably I'll add a check to just check if they're up and running.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think let's do that. I think that'll give us a confidence that it just works fine.
Yeah. I'm working on that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. This is a doc change we already discussed, and this is for the control plane endpoint thing. So this becomes very important. I think let's fix this part of this release. Rajat, let's not really skip this one.
So I will try to work on that. Yeah. So,
Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, that's pretty much about the issues what we wanted to discuss. 0.7. Anything else with respect to release? Bunch of these. I think we'll look into these things once we kind of finish this release. Okay, that was a little bit too much. That's it. I don't see any other issues for these two milestones. We are good. I think without any further delay, let's go ahead and then get started with the proposal what Karthik published. What do you, Karthik?
Yeah, sure, Manju, thank you. Yeah, so this proposal is mainly for the Power VS cluster creation. So as of today, as we know that before creating a Power BI cluster, we do many manual steps using CAPI, ADM, CLI, like creating a network, creating a port out of the network, and also we need to have a Power BI workspace before creating a cluster. And this is before creating cluster. As when it comes to accessibility, we make use of the cube VIP, and we use that to set one of the public IPs and try to access the cluster. So with this proposal, what we are trying to do is that main goal is to pre-create the create the infrastructure instead of pre-creating it. And second is to make use of the VPC load balancer to access the cluster. So as we can see in the flow chart, so what we are trying to do is that we want to also provide the user to ability to provide the existing infrastructure as well, for example service instance or the network. So we want to provide that option as well as create. If it's not provided, we are going to create it. So mainly focus is on that using the service instance, then the network. So when it comes to network, if the user is not provided, we are thought of using the DHCP service. So we'll create a DHCP service in workspace and use the subnet out of it. And then later, depending on the zone, we are going to create a VPC. The VPC is mainly required since we want to make the user to access the cluster via the load balancer. That's why we create the VPC. And along the VPC, we create the subnet. And once subnet is done, then we'll finally create the subnet is done. So then we'll make up the latest feature of the PER, the Power Edge router. So there we create a transit gateway, then attach the VPC with the Power VS network, and finally we'll create the load balancer. So these everything goes to the Power VS cluster controller, where we are going to take care of creating all this infrastructure. And yeah, so once this is done, we make sure that there is a field called ready status in the cluster spec. We set it to ready, so later the machine creation can take forward. And yeah, to accommodate this, we ended up creating so many specs as well. Maybe we can take that as well. Yeah, so here it is. So previously it was only service instance ID we needed to pass earlier. So that we have changed it to service instance where user can pass the name or the ID. That's done. And network is the existing one, so we'll make use of the same thing. I think control flow endpoint, this is also existing field, so we are not going to touch it. And the rest all the fields what we are seeing below is the newly added one, the service instance, and also the zone and the resource group we are going to take care, and what and the VPC reference, and the transit queue, and finally the load balancer one. So these are the things currently we think that they needed to accommodate this proposal. And when it comes to the status, we store all the IDs of the service instance, network, DHCP, VPC. This is mainly helps in easy access, also for the cleanup. So whenever we see these fields are set, it means that we only have created it and we are going to delete it as a part of the delete workflow. So yeah, this is also done. Maybe the delete workflow also have added the flow chart. So little down. Yeah. So while deleting, we start from transit gateway. So we'll first delete the transit gateway, then we'll delete the DHCP server, then the network, and the service instance ID. And similarly goes for the VPC side. Delete the load balancer, then the subnet and the VPC. So it's a reverse order as of creation. And yeah, that's it from this proposal. And open to any suggestions or
Okay.
any change in the specs.
One quick thing I see here is
Yeah.
the flow from here, right? It says all the way from here. Is it like once you create a workspace, you just end it, or
I think it's supposed to go to the next step. Maybe I need to connect it back to the,
okay.
yeah, here there.
Okay, yeah. Just
Yeah,
let's
correct.
see if okay. So is it going to be like that, or let's say if you okay. So I'm thinking about the controller flow, right? So is it like once you create the service instance, you update the service instance ID in the status, and
Yeah,
then you reconcile, you return it, or how exactly we want to handle that? Um, or
yeah, I think that will be better because then if you continue on that, it make all multiple reconciles, right?
yeah, think for sure we need to have a separate debate for that, like, but ideally, like, anyway, if you update the status, right? So if you patch it,
Yeah.
it will again call the another reconcile for that state, like for the field, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So, or if you want to keep that information like till the
End.
end, or okay, and then you patch it once, and then it will just okay, whatever works. I think the second approach is like maybe it will be more efficient in terms of
Yeah.
patching it once or something like that. So maybe I think we just need to have something like reconcile service instance, reconcile network, or something like that
Yeah.
called in one function.
Yeah.
And then maybe in the defer function, we can call the patch or something like that, so that it will get um, updated once returning that function or something like that. We might need to take care.
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah, let's see. While
Sure.
writing controller, I think it is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think maybe just fix this diagram.
Sure, sure.
I think
Yeah.
this. See, another comment I have there is, let's use if you can use some of those open source tools, like
Yeah.
just mentioned the link for that particular tool, right?
Yeah, Excel.
Yeah, exactly. So you can just use those specs after the creations. We can use that spec, and then you can import it here, so that if someone wants to update or alter, right, it becomes easy. Reusability is really good.
Yeah, I will update with the diagram from there.
Yeah. Diagram plus you just download that, the spec
The
as well.
spec file. Yes.
Yeah, spec file as well.
So that also I'll keep in the same image folder.
Yeah, I can just keep it there itself, or maybe in enhancement or whatever. I think,
Oh,
or maybe wherever required. I'm like wherever we feel comfortable.
yeah.
Image can be a better thing. Same name with different extension will be better
Yes.
option, I believe.
Okay.
And here also the flow is kind of missing. Anyway, we can
Yeah.
just enhance that.
Yeah.
Okay, one quick question I have here is the usability part, right? So as in um, consumption part I'm talking about. So the like let's say you create these, the specs, and then you update the status field with the, the ID and all that.
Yeah.
Let's say there is some dependency on the fields mentioned in the cluster. For example, let's say like your um, the control plane machines going to use your service ID or some network or something like that, what is been created by the cluster for deploying the VM and then whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Always there will be a sort of confusion, right? I mean, we end up having the logic everywhere that, if the value present in the spec, use that, or use the status or something like that is what, and the logic you want to handle in the controller part. How exactly you want to handle that?
Yeah. So I thought is that anyhow, we can once this is done, we can update the machine spec, and from there the machine can take care of it using consuming the values.
How do you update the machine spec?
Yeah. So actually, in the I think in the machine controller, we have the where we pass this Power BI cluster spec.
Okay.
Uh, so there also we have the fields. Uh, I thought we can use update it there.
Yeah, but I feel we shouldn't update the specs, right? I mean, because especially let's say if you have some other reconcile loop running on top of this project, right? So then that reconcile will always like kind of flash.
Uh,
Just remove the entries, right? So it's
uh,
did you get my
uh,
point? Like,
yeah, I got your point. But what I was referring to the controller one. If you can open the IBM Power BI machine controller.
okay, but are you talking about updating this spec?
No, not this.
Okay, the controller. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So, but again, control the logic could be like use appropriate value, right? So it could be
yeah,
like from status or from spec.
yeah,
So
correct.
you need to make that intelligent decision, like read it from spec, or if it doesn't present, like use it from the status. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah. I think I just got confused.
Okay. But anyways, I think
Yeah, I got the point. I got the point.
consumption part, I think we just need to be a little cautious there.
Sure, sure.
So for even for like everything, right? Like who are consuming these specs or information, they have to kind of have that logic
Yeah,
built in, right?
yeah.
And also, of course, we just need to make sure we don't disturb the current flow as well. So
Yes, yes.
that's one thing we just need to make sure. Yeah, let's see. Maybe we can have some reusable or functions in the
Hmm.
in the class itself. I mean, cluster itself. Maybe
Yes.
like Power VS clusters can have function like get,
Hmm.
the spec, or maybe cluster itself can have some sort of function like get service instance ID or get network ID or something like that, so that function will take care of having that logic, right?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe let's have that.
Sure. I think yeah, I got the point.
Yeah.
Yeah. The preference was the spec, then the status, right?
Yeah.
Because the user provided will be in spec and whatever we created in will be in the
Yes.
status. Yes.
Yeah. Something like that. I think we just need to make sure the consumer life will be easy, right?
Yes.
So wherever it could be machine or it could be like your Power BI image, or wherever required, right?
Correct.
So we shouldn't do a lot of repeated code there in the controller for other dependent resources.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one comment I had. But any other comments from anyone else?
Manju, I had one question for Karthik. So, Karthik, is there do you see any public gateway from that aspect, right, when it comes to VPC subnet being attached to it or not here?
No, actually, I'm not aware of that. What is the use case actually?
So basically, it's kind of for the traffic, right? Traffic to move seamlessly between from the outside internet or something like that. So they attach this public gateway to the VPC subnet, right? And I think in the VPC approach that we have right now with the load balancer, there is a gateway which is getting us attached to this subnet, VPC subnet.
Okay.
So
I think that is not required here, I think, Prajot,
Okay.
because that is required for VPC subnet machines to access the outside internet. Here, the Power-based machines are going to depend on the DHCP service, right? So that has the public network anyway. This is only to connect to the load balancer. Load balancer need to connect to the Power-based machines, right? So
okay, so
public
that
gateway
part
for
won't be
VPC
needed.
is not required.
Okay, then I think the flow is fine. Yeah.
So I have one comment I just got in my mind. Like, so that you talk about the deletion part where you use the status of the IDs
Yeah.
and to delete those resources, right? I think we need to add two more fields for the transit gateway connections because they are going to be an
Okay.
individual child entity under the transit gateway. So you
Hmm.
have to make if you don't have that, you need to make two get calls to retrieve the ID, and then you have to do the delete. So if you add that and creation part also, it is kind of a separate API call to create those connections. So
Okay.
see whether we want to add that in the spec, Karthik.
But tell me one thing. So the delete, so it happens only while delete, right? The niche, if those are only helpful for the delete. So I'm just wondering,
Yes.
can we get them on the fly with the transit gateway ID here?
Yeah, we can get it. So as Karthik mentioned, he's going to use it for deletion while deletion, right? So I thought of adding it as a status so that he can use it while deleting it instead of making two get calls.
Yeah, but like, yeah, again, like, it's kind of like,
It's going to get complicated. isn't it?
yeah, I mean, like the time versus, this simplicity or complexity right here, right? I think you end up adding the another two fields here might be overburden. So I think already we have a lot of fields here, if I'm not
Yeah.
wrong. So that
Okay.
that another comment I had. So if I look at the spec, right, there are so many new values we are adding in terms of the status. I don't know.
Maybe I'm not sure if this will work, but what Karthik can try is that what we do for the existing load balancer in the VPCs, right? we basically go to the load balancer and we just detach whatever was added to the pools and everything. So if he has the transit gateway ID, so then will it be possible for him to just use the transit gateway and just disconnect whatever is part of that transit gateway ID? So that should be also fine, right? Because eventually he is going to delete those services down the line, right?
Yeah, that is possible. But so in that case, user need to supply this transit gateway, right? So that I think that flow is Karthik is handling, right? Accepting the
Yeah.
transit gateway from the user, and if the connection is not there for Power BI or VPC, is going to attach it. So those things need to take care of end user when we consider the reusability of resources.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, one comment is that I do see, like, maybe I think Karthik can take some comments or the comments what we discussed, I think. So I think what I see here from here is that a lot of these fields are like there are a lot of fields in this status. Um, let's see if there is a way of simplifying. Maybe not,
Okay.
but let's explore if we can maybe simplify or maybe
Yeah.
do a better representation. Maybe I don't know. Just think through it.
Sure,
We
sure.
don't have right options or you know. But another thing I am thinking, will there be a use case? Let's say I have created something part of create cluster as a service instance or network or whatever, but I don't want to delete it. The delete flow.
Mm-hmm.
Will there be a use case like that?
I think that will help for testing.
Yeah.
No, in that case, you are going to use CAPI to create your Power BI resource, right, Manju? But that is not the intention of CAPI, right? So not sure whether is there any use case that can need this, that need this.
So on that question, I'm not the Power BI part. I'm not sure, but VPC is something that user may want to reuse instead of creating the load balancer again and again. Just keep those resources there and just connect with the newer Power BI resources, right? So that can be a case.
Okay.
Yeah. So Manju, if you know, like we recently merged that PR, right, for the load balancer, wherein user can bring in their own load balancer, right?
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
that case, we just whenever user brings their own load balancer, we just skip the deletion part of that.
Yes. That
Yeah.
is already
Yeah.
there. So
So
that flow is already been taken care.
yeah.
So my question is the other one,
Yeah.
other
And
extreme,
the
right?
Yeah.
extra resources are also being created, right?
Yeah, I think there's possibility, Manju. So as I read, there's annotation to set to make it externally managed. So in that case, while creating, user can normally go ahead and create a cluster, then patch the cluster to add that annotation, then delete the cluster. So I think at that time, it will not be deleted.
Okay. Okay.
I think that
So
should
that
be.
is okay. So that is going to be like entire, infrastructure will retain.
Yes, correct. Nothing will be deleted.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Let's point down this question. Maybe let's include that thing in the spec.
Yeah.
Karthik.
Okay.
Somewhere in this more information, right? I think somewhere like what is not part of scope and then how user can really sort of do that
Yeah.
if they want to do it, right? So let's add that information also.
Sure, sure.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? I think in detail review, maybe we can spend some more time offline.
Okay.
Then we can see if there are any more comments.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I will update these things and maybe on Monday or sometime we can discuss.
Yeah,
Sure.
sure. No problem. And also like maybe if you can include more information like VPC load balancer, a documentation for the VPC load balancer or transit gateway or something like that, right? So hyperlink will be helpful. Let's do that as well.
Okay.
Okay, someone is looking at first time, I think they might have these questions.
Yes, got it.
Okay. All right. Any more questions? Any last question for this proposal? Okay. Is there any other questions? Please feel free to drop those questions in the spec. It's proposal itself, and also there is PR open by Karthik for spec changes as well. I encourage all of you to go through it. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop the comments. So that's helpful, right? Cool. And yeah, I mean, again, just forgot to mention. So we just need to mention that this the changes what we are trying to make here should work for other dependent projects, like for example, Hypershift, or even for the OpenShift installer. So we just need to make sure the entire chain set just works fine.
Yeah.
That additional work, I know it's going to be like burden for Cappy here, but I think we'll just need to ensure that the consumer should all be fine with the changes we're making.
Okay.
Okay, let's make that, and then maybe you can assign owners for that, Karthik.
Yeah.
Hypershift. Tanish can take a look, and then the Cappy flow you can take a look, or someone else also.
Yes.
Okay, that's about the work item. What we want to discuss, and we just left with the CI thing. So quickly, let me open the CI dashboard and see how it is. Hang on, I think it's taking some time. I'm not sure. Okay. Okay, cool. Pretty much clean except one, so that's fine. So see green here. Why this is failing? Oh, since two, they are like failing.
I mean, just check if the region is okay. This is something else. If it's like Toronto, if it picked up Toronto, then that was facing the other issue. But this looks like something different.
It's template related. We need to update the template to the newer one, Amulya.
Okay. So the,
Yes. Yeah, I think you can. Yeah, I think I can do that. Yeah, I think we have already done that for the latest one. So
Fix the runs, right? Fix the CI runs for released. Okay, let's have someone. I'm not sure if we are hitting same error. Yeah, same error for that as well, I think.
Yeah.
Similar.
Yes, I think Power VS.
Probably is some other issue. 129.
This is, I think, some different issue.
It's time at issue, I believe. Is it happening regularly or it's past once?
So Amulya, when did you remove that region from the Boscos?
VPC, I think last Friday.
Okay.
Okay, 06 is fine. So 05 is what I see. The error. Yeah, let's see if we can maybe quickly spend some time and then. But when is the next run? I think
Next.
it's tomorrow, day after tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah, let's maybe wait for Sunday and then see how it goes. If it is still fails, I think we can take a look. Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, but VPC thing we just need to fix it.
Yes, Manju. I'll fix that right now. Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty much what we want to discuss. Anything else? All right, I'll take that as no. Thank you, folks. Have a nice day and then weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. Bye.